A boxing ring, by its very nature, is not a large place. Regardless of dimensions, it's fixed, confined by ropes and corners and opponents, who make squared circles feel small. But inside these small spaces, there is a glorious contrast. Inside these small spaces, big, massive, can't turn away moments tend to occur.
Left hook, that dropped, Castaño!
Want proof? Try Showtime Championship Boxing on for size. After the 2021 calendar raised the stakes, the year that was grabbed a hold of the momentum, carrying it forward.
Beat him down, back him down!
Big is the operative word here. Big stars like Errol Spence Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis doing typically big things.
And down goes Romero!
Big milestones like Jermell Charlo becoming an undisputed champion, the first ever at super welterweight in the four-belt era. Big statements from David Benavidez, one of boxing's most exciting talents, and Jake Paul, one of boxing's newest attractions. Big upsets, big-time talent emerging, big, star-studded record crowds in Dallas and Brooklyn.
We won.
Big everything.
Oh, that left hand!
What started in small spaces spread all over the sports landscape,
Incredible action!
making 2022 a big success for Showtime Championship Boxing. I'm Brian Custer. This is the Best of Boxing 2022. In boxing, there are favorites and there are underdogs, but it's not always the darlings who collect the wins. This was evident early in 2022 when hungry challengers laughed at odds and recorded upsets, starting the year with a bang few saw coming. As the months to a new year flew by, Showtime Championship Boxing punctuated each calendar page with a surprising result.
Gary Russell Jr.
With 7 years and 5 title defenses in the books, Gary Russell Jr. reigned over the featherweight division.
We are seeing one of the best fighters in boxing. Oh, he hurt Russell.
But in late January, Mark Magsayo was unfazed by Russell's status and kicked off a winter of upsets.
Has the longest title reign in boxing come to an end?
And the new WBC featherweight champion of the world, Mark Magsayo.
For a young, undefeated and rising star like Chris Colbert, there are often many lessons to learn.
Chris Colbert is in a fight.
Late substitution Hector Garcia played teacher to Colbert in February.
Oh, Colbert crashing to the canvas.
By dominating their WBA super featherweight title eliminator.
Hector Garcia with the biggest win of his career.
Hector El Droide Garcia.
The tallest tree in boxing's latest forest of contenders continues to chop down his opposition.
Oh, down goes Lubin.
And against Erickson Lubin in April, Sebastian Fundora traded blows with his shorter, broader opponent in a candidate for Fight of the Year.
You can admire his guts, you admire his tenacity, and you have to admire this resiliency. What a comeback! Erickson Lubin knocks Fundora for the first time. Fundora's right there, continuing to feed him with these devastating uppercuts.
That's it. That's it. Fight over with.
Sebastian Fundora, an incredible display.
Also in April, Radzab Butayev carried the WBA's secondary welterweight belt into Arlington's AT&T Stadium. But it was Imanis Stenionis who carried it out, behind a stinging jab and a series of straight rights that led to a majority decision win. Stanionis was ready, is ready for his world title shot. Upsets may be glorious, but there's a reason they're not expected. And the reason lies in a champion's DNA. So as 2022 continued to unspool on Showtime Championship Boxing, some of the sport's best, most accomplished boxers served emphatic reminders of the legacies they're shaping. Two such champions train under respected and notable maker of champions, Derrick James. Long known as The Truth, Errol Spence Jr. came back to the ring to prove his truth was still the correct version of his career.
The Truth, Errol Spence Jr.
The 12th welterweight unification fight in history.
A new year of dominance required a new nickname, as the Big Fish returned from a serious eye injury to notch another big win.
Straight shot down the middle. Shoot that head. There we go.
Spence now beginning to unload with the left hand.
When Errol Spence punches in combination, he is a tough man to deal with.
At a sold-out and star-studded AT&T Stadium, Spence topped Yordenis Ugas in an all-eyes-on-Errol affair.
Errol Spence is delivering some uppercuts and some left hands that are bothering Yordenis Ugas. Show me someone who loves his job like Yordenis Ugas. That smile still on his face.
Spence's thudding left hands closed Ugas's right eye in a triumphant return that many saw coming.
Errol Spence Jr. intent on shutting down the title reign of Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence Jr. is one of the best boxers on planet Earth.
He is now the WBC, WBA, and IBF Unified Welterweight Champion of the World, The Truth, Errol Spence Jr.
The 10th unification fight in 154-pound division history. Jermell Charlo meets Brian Castano for the second time.
In a highly anticipated rematch of their super welterweight showdown, Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano traded blows and barrages, each seeking to etch his name in the history books.
And oh, that right uppercut caught Castano, but he ate it well. Oh, and there's a left hook by Castano and left hook by Charlo.
Great exchange. Oh, big right hand by Castano.
Fantastic finish to the fourth.
You're breaking him down and keep shooting to the body. He is getting tired. Go out there and go get it.
After 9 competitive rounds, Charlo summoned the most decisive ending in the 10th. A left hook, a finishing flurry, and a spectacular knockout.
Unlike the first fight, Charlo closes the show in the rematch in round 10.
To claim 4 belts and the coveted, undisputed title.
We did it!
Man Charlo!
Jermell Charlo rules the 154-pound division.
There was no need to be blinded by the stars alone, not when so many young and enticing fighters continue to realize their potential. Momentum in hand, Showtime Championship Boxing looked to seize on its surging energy from those remarkable nights. Top fighters lived up to their billings when established stars, doing their thing, recorded convincing victories, bludgeoning overmatched opponents, and setting stages for blockbuster bouts to come. Each of the following victors were already ranked among the top of their division. These fighters also showcased why they might be headed even higher, toward the very top. In late March, Tim Tszyu returned his boxing family to Showtime after 16 years. Following in the footsteps of his father, Costa, a world champion at junior welterweight, was never supposed to be easy.
It's a right hand and that drops Tszyu. There's a chopping right hand and that hurt Gausset. Gausset almost went down that flight. Almost about to go once again. A big right hand again by Tszyu.
Tszyu rallied, won a close decision in his U.S. debut, and eyed a blockbuster bout with Jermell Charlo at super welterweight. When accounting for age, accomplishments, and potential in boxing, there's no one with more of all than David Benavidez. When he stepped in the ring, Benavidez more than showed why he's worthy of the hype.
And there's a left hook that has staggered Lemieux. Benavidez unloading with blistering combinations. The fighting heart of Lemieux, he is down.
In May, El Bandera Roja pummeled a proud David Lemieux, forcing his corner to wave off their bout in round 3.
And Lemieux's corner has mercifully stopped the punishment.
Benavidez had his hand raised for the 26th time and announced that the super middleweight division might be his to take.
I'm the strongest 168-pounder. Nobody can mess with me. And I guarantee you, I'll knock everybody out.
Gervonta Tank Davis, one of boxing's biggest draws.
Some people made to do it, and some people just, talk their way through it.
In the young superstar shows out department, Gervonta Davis joined Benavidez in handing out a declarative statement. He came in front of a sold-out, record-setting Barclays Center crowd, in front of celebrities, and against a bitter rival in Rolando Romero.
Hey, get his ass up. Swing when he swing. And here we go, round 1. Romero again, a right hand that time, and that rocked Davis for a moment.
Romero talked his way into a May date with the 5-time world champion.
There ain't no real beef other than me wanting to beat the out of him.
You trash, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna you up.
Only for Davis to end their high-level bout early with a wicked left hand that netted his 25th career KO.
And down goes Romero. That's it. No more. Tank Davis with one big left hand has won this fight.
And proved that words do indeed have consequences. As he enters a sports consciousness, Stephen Fulton Jr. reminds the boxing world that Cool Boy can make ring supremacy appear simple.
Stephen Fulton Jr. proving that he is pound for pound one of the best after this performance tonight.
Fulton did just that in early June, outpointing Daniel Rahman in a lopsided triumph to retain his WBC and WBO 122-pound titles. As if all that wasn't enough to prove boxing's continued allure, a series of fighters returned to Showtime Championship Boxing as the year wound down. They couldn't wait to climb back into the rings all over America for a variety of reasons and motivations.
From the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, a battle of undefeated fighters.
In July, Mark Magsayo eyed another significant victory in a clash between not just unbeaten championship-level fighters, but legendary trainers in Freddie Roach and Nacho Beristain. Roach's fighter Magsayo did inflict damage and did score a 9th-round knockdown.
Vargas going down!
But he couldn't overcome Ray Vargas's onslaught, as Vargas and Beristain won by split decision.
Oh, nice left hand lands for Vargas. Filipino Mark Magsayo, Mexican Ray Vargas, doing battle until the final bell.
Vargas!
One Benavidez brother wasn't enough in 2022. as Danny Garcia summoned Jose Benavidez Jr. for a late July showdown in Brooklyn.
That was the counter punches that we're talking about from Garcia. Boom, there it is again.
Another right-hand counter by Garcia. Danny Garcia continues to score with combinations.
After a career-long layoff, Garcia announced that he remains a contender, now at super welterweight, with a dominant decision victory. Afterward, Danny courageously told the world just how much it had taken to get back in the ring, addressing his mental health struggles.
I went through some anxiety and depression, and I just tried my best to stay strong. If you're battling anxiety and depression, you can get over it. This is what I did tonight. I came here and I fought my heart out.
In August, Omar Figueroa Jr. returned to the ring for only his second bout since 2019. Sergey Lipinets was a late replacement in this WBC super lightweight title eliminator. And it was Lipinets who got the W, punishing Figueroa in a bout Figueroa's corner halted after 8 rounds.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm all right, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Sergey Lipinets.
The towering inferno burned bright yet again as Sebastian Fundora met Carlos Ocampo in an action-packed fight.
Fundora headhunting. There's the uppercut on the inside. Oh, nice straight left hand by Fundora.
Fundora won this one easily, taking his career to even higher heights.
Sebastian.
As he called for a super welterweight title shot next.
I have my spot. I earned my spot. I hope I have next. Fingers crossed.
Showtime.
As fall turned to winter, Michel Rivera and Frank Martin returned to the squared circle. These prospects turned contenders stepped into the spotlight and put their undefeated records on the line in a showdown in Sin City.
Martin opening up on Rivera. Martin utilizing his footwork, his speed, and his skill. Oh! And there the combination knocks down Rivera. Frank Martin recording the biggest win of his young career.
Frank, the Ghost Martin.
Now 2 decades and 1 year into a remarkable run, boxing's best showcase for prospects did what it has always done. Showbox, the new generation, took the sport's up-and-comers.
Showbox, the new generation.
It's most promising and most powerful. It's young and it's hungry, and gave them all a chance and a platform and a stage that many had only dreamt of.
Here's a big right hand, staggers Arrieta, and now Nunez trying to close the deal here in the final round. And that's it.
We wanted a statement. Luis Nunez delivered the statement.
Consider this vintage Showbox. The best prospects, the most competitive fights to build the future.
That's going to be a knockdown. Just needs the rounds and the experience. And a left hand and down goes Acosta, and that's it.
One hitter quitter for Edwin De Los Santos.
For contenders who want to become champions, this is often where they separate, as promise leads to payoff.
Good body shot. Drive and goes from a left hand. That's it.
Big Uzbek waited patiently, but it was worth the wait.
I'll tell you, we got a real battle going on here. Both guys were scored with heavy punches.
This is heavy lumber back and forth.
Senna, the African assassin on
The universe is working in my favor. What I'm doing for the sport of boxing, the universe wants it to continue.
The problem child, Jake Paul.
It was one of the most intriguing matchups of the year.
Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands, touch them up, and let's bomb.
From the purest form of boxing to the non-traditional. As the boxing landscape continues changing, two unlikely challengers met in Glendale, Arizona in a different type of spectacle.
There's a right from Jake Paul trying to utilize that moose knuckle he talks about having. Silva showcasing the skills that made him a legend. Oh, there's that counter right. And Anderson Silva attacking Paul. Paul trying to fight back, toe to toe. The toughest test of Jake Paul's nascent boxing career as expected. Silva knocked down by Paul. High trauma at Desert Diamond Arena. And the problem child proving to be a big problem for the legend. He continues to author an improbable career as a professional boxer.
No, nobody can talk about you and not that something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Got lenses, use them. Good work. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Kobe. Good fight.
And still undefeated, the problem child, Jake Paul.
In a year like 2022, with belts won, welts delivered, with mouths shut, and undisputed history seized, fights that in other years might be considered signature events are no smaller than before. This is the best of the rest.
And oh, he staggered. He hurt Postal with that right hook. Gary Antoine Russell proving to be the truth at 140 pounds. Oh, he drops Gamboa. Cruz dropping Gamboa again. Oh, that left hand was a Cruz missile. The right hand, he saw Cruz.
I'm gonna win it like I'm Thriller in Manila. Man, they too slow. I gotta go. Leave me alone.
Oh, that right hand down goes Clayton. The Ennis Express is a runaway train.
Good left hand there, and he drops O'Sullivan. And that's it.
David Morrell gives Minneapolis another reason to celebrate.
I ain't trying to go to Mars. I want you to know my name.
Figueroa opening up on Castro. Left hook upstairs. Castro goes down. Brandon Figueroa records the stoppage victory. Mariñez has been hurt. And Mariñez goes down. That hurt Mariñez. The other right hook hurt Mariñez. Mariñez down again. And the fight is over. Frank Martin ends up serving notice that, yeah, I'm someone to be reckoned with. The first real adversity we have seen Gary Antoine Russell in. Oh, and there's the shot. And Ramses Barthélemy goes down.
Another big left hand by Garcia. Oh, there's a left hook by Gutierrez. Back and forth they go.
And the new WBA super featherweight champion of the world, Hector Luis El Androide Garcia.
Unlike in other sports, in boxing, there's no season, which means for the sport itself, there's also no off-season. So while Showtime Championship boxers recover from their individual clashes, Showtime Championship Boxing held fight after fight, night after night.
All right, it's going to turn into a fight then.
The network never rested. Showtime was always ready. And because it was always ready, cards, majestic, historic, no bathroom break cards were always on.
Oh, and there's the shot!
Momentum is what matters, because in order to turn big into bigger, there's only one place to go, up into 2023, when some of the sport's biggest fights promise to take the network to heights unknown. That's it for the Best of Boxing 2022. I'm Brian Custer. We'll see you in 23.